What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel, check out the content. And with that being said, man, I think with all this gambling scandal that's going on, I think the NBA is looking to make an example of somebody in the league. And it looked like it might come down to either LeBron James or Chauncey Billups. I'm thinking, in my opinion, I think it's probably going to be Chauncey, and I'm going to break down why I think it's going to be Chauncey. That the NBA will make an example out of. First, I think LeBron James, even though like Maverick Carter, um, admitted to illegal gambling probably like a few years ago. I don't know if that's like close enough to the situation where as though you can like directly implicate LeBron James in that, right? And so you got Maverick Carter, who was close to him, who got caught up in gambling. Damon Jones also was close to LeBron James, and he's a part of this investigation and part of these, what's going on with the gambling. But still, even with that, it'll be hard, in my opinion, for the NBA unless more, some type of information directly associating LeBron James with gambling. I think that short of something like that, I don't think like LeBron James will be able to. They'll be able to bring LeBron James down with this gambling scandal. I think that if if LeBron James is into gambling, I think there will have been rumors out there already that LeBron James, just like there were rumors about Mike, as far as everybody knew, and people seen Mike at casinos and stuff like that. But for the most part, you know, I don't think LeBron James is a gambler, or if he is, he's somebody who is like somebody maybe gamble like in social situations, or just a casual type gambler. Nothing. Whereas though I think it would raise any eyebrows or something like that. So I don't think LeBron James is going to be the person that they're going to try to get with this. I think it's going to be Chauncey Billups. And the reason why I think it's going to be Chauncey Billups may even think it's going to be him, the one who's going to go down for this and be, like the Pete Rose of basketball. When you see Chauncey Billups come out of that courthouse, Chauncey Billups had on he had a hoodie on that said Clutch Management Sports, right? And a lot of people, most people don't think that was by mistake. They thought that was calculated. And so if it was calculated, that Chauncey wore that hoodie that said Clutch Sports Management or something like that, then that means that Chauncey must be thinking that, man, get me out of this, try to use your leverage to get me out of this. Because if I start cooperating, that might shine a bad light on you. And so that might be what Chauncey is thinking there. Some people say it's just coincidence, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that he wore that, knowing that they was going to make him do that perp walk. So I just think it was calculated. Now the thing is, like if they do make Chauncey the face of this, and they come down hard on him, some people are saying, well, should Chauncey get taken out of the Hall of Fame? He's already in the Hall of Fame. Now that's a tough question. I don't know. Like, I mean, I personally wouldn't take him out. Some people say, you take him out of the Hall of Fame. Uh, Pete Rose was denied, into the Hall of Fame while he was alive, which I thought that was crazy, man. And again, see, I don't gamble, so I don't know. I don't really get like the implications, because I think it's kind of hypocritical for the NBA to sanction gambling and then penalize people who are part of their organization for gambling. Now I can see if you gamble, if you bet on your team, I definitely, or if you're giving inside information then that's different. But I think they gotta set up a system where as though number one, players can't give inside information, or at least make it harder for them to give up inside information. And then when they do give up inside information, you have a limited people who knows about this information, and then so they'll be easily be able to track that down. So, like, say like if LeBron James is going to be out, like everybody on the team won't be privy to that information. It'll probably be the doctors and the coach and LeBron James. Unless he's going to be out for an extended period of time, then everybody will know, right? Not just the team, but the media and everybody will know. But if LeBron James is going to be out for this game, then you have it so you have a limited amount of people who know. And then so that's how they raise flags. Like if something get outside of that circle, then they'll be able to track it back down to its original source. And so people will be like, nah, it's not really worth it. And I don't see why these guys got into gambling anyway. You got Terry Rozier, um, Chauncey Billups, like guys who make these guys make hundreds of millions of dollars, and then they worrying about making 50,000 or $100,000 on a bet. Excuse me. To me, it just don't make any sense. But I do think in this situation, somebody is going to be made an example of, because what the NBA seems like they want to do, they want to discourage. They want to discourage any of their athletes from trying to destroy the integrity of the league. And so that integrity is very important to them. And so they really going to bury somebody with this one. Um, Now, and I like Chauncey Billups. I'm hoping that it's not him. Well, really, I'm hoping that it's not any of these guys. Hopefully, it'll be in a perfect world. Everybody will like, you know what? We learn our lesson. You fine them. You you hit them with a heavy fine or something like that, smack on the wrist, and everybody just go ahead about their business. But I don't see the situation ending up like this. I think somebody is really going to go down, and they probably, like I said, they probably going to be in the same situation that Pete Rose was, fighting to save their legacy. Fighting to um, repair their name and repair their reputation because of this gambling scandal, man. And that's right, that right there. So if you see a player or ex-player or ex-coach fighting, doing the same thing that Pete Rose did throughout, up until he passed, he was basically fighting to get back his name and his reputation, fighting to get into the Hall of Fame. And so you see that, you be like, wow, I don't want to go through what this guy's going through. So that serves as a deterrent. They don't want to, people don't want to go through that, what they see what Pete Rose is going through, and so man, this, and they say there are more names coming, but I think the person that goes down has to be big enough where it will have an impact. Like Malik Beasley, if he get banished from the league, what was the guy named Michael Porter Jr. His brother is got banished from the league. That didn't really have an effect, because he was not somebody who was a household name. What team did he play for? Did he play for Toronto? I think he played for Toronto. I didn't even know of him until he got caught up in the gambling scandal, right? So that is, it has to be somebody who is known, who, of noteworthiness, right? Be- Uh, Beasley, I don't think he's a big enough name, like I said. Terry Rozier, I don't think he's a big enough name. But when you start throwing around names like Chauncey, and then if LeBron gets thrown into the fray, then I think that's going to, that's going to shake people up. That's going to really get people's attention. Not only will it get their attention now, like I said, it'll keep them, it'll have their attention for years to come, because whoever this person is, if it's Chauncey Billups, he's going to spend the rest of his life trying to repair his image, trying to, especially if they take him out of the Hall of Fame, then he's going to be campaigning for the rest of his life to get back into the Hall of Fame. So, he's going to be fighting an uphill battle. People going to see that and they're gonna be like, nah, I don't want no parts of that. I'm not going to risk it. You know what the consequences are. So yeah, that's what I think is going to happen, though. So the NBA, in my opinion, they're looking for their Pete Rose, somebody who they can hold up as an example. Like, we don't play this. This won't be tolerated. And I think it's probably going to be Chauncey Billups, in my opinion. But we'll see. Hopefully, it won't be any of these guys that's involved, because I hate I hate to see these guys work so hard for what they have accomplished and then throw it down the drain for the amounts of money that they was getting. Just wasn't worth it. So with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.